Are we both recording?
We're both recording.
Okay, this episode is sponsored by Welch's Grape Juice. Welch is sparkling grape juice. Welch has been an American company since 1485 or something like that.
Crazy like that.
Like a ridiculous amount of time. And the crazy thing about Welch is that no matter what, they have family farmer owned juice. Now, I think that's a really important thing, Braden. What do you think?
I think
that's a great thing in it. So this one is flavored non-alcoholic white grape because we're not sponsored through an alcohol company on the podcast. Guys, go to welches.com right now. Use the code Chateau on your order. That's CHATEAU.
You'll get 0% off.
You get 0% off. You get fucking nothing from us. You ungrateful fucks.
Yes.
You get absolutely nothing.
Right.
But still, go to welches.com, order some
Amen.
juice. All right, I got something I want to say.
You do.
Right off the bat.
Yeah. Let's hear it.
I am... Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Settle down. It's okay.
You motherfuckers aren't funny.
Ooh, okay.
Nobody is funny right now. There's like maybe 3 people that I see do things, and I'm like, oh, ha, ha, ha.
That's so true.
You're
actually. Do you want to name him right now? Because I think I know who it would be.
Go on.
Theo Vaughn.
There you go.
The Andrew Schultz. Is it Andrew Schultz? Is that his name?
Andrew Schultz.
It's like it. That's all I got right now.
Yeah, basically. There's one guy who's like really low level. His name is Stavros Halkias. He's like, I think it's
Is that the guy that kind of looks like a model and he's short?
No.
That guy's kind of funny.
He's kind of funny, but he's super low level. I'm talking about like somebody that like
really
at least is something right now.
I don't know who you're talking about.
There's a girl. Her name is she actually just came out with a special on Netflix. Her name is Eliza Schlesinger, I think is her last name.
Okay.
She's actually pretty hilarious.
Okay.
She has this entire bit that I thought was fantastic, and she goes, "Okay, I'm going to say something right now that no woman has ever said. The family vacation didn't go well. And it was my fault."
That's pretty good.
She's so funny.
That's pretty good.
She's genuinely hilarious. But you fuckers aren't.
Who are you aiming this at?
Everyone. I just see so many clips on the internet all the time, and they'll be. It's like dudes that like when you're driving through a neighborhood and there's a sign that says like, "Please drive slow. Our kids live here." It's the kind of person that would see that and be like, "Huh, my kids live here."
Yeah.
What are you, a fucking idiot?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's your comedy?
Yeah.
You're funny? You think that you make people laugh?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that.
Another problem is that Netflix is giving everyone a special right now.
Everyone.
I'm not even kidding, Braden. I think that if Netflix right now looked at me and was like, "Hey, do you want a comedy special?" I'd be like, "I'm good." Because I've seen what else y'all have on there.
Yeah.
And I would be afraid that somebody that I would want to take me seriously, like I would want like Tom Segura or like one of those like upper level guys to like take me seriously. And right now I feel like they look at those dudes on Netflix and they're like, "Well, you're nothing," because Netflix is literally giving
just handing these out.
Yeah, like it's insane.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I see a bunch of TikTokers as well that I think the bad thing about TikTok and the bad thing about entertainment being accessible to younger kids as well is these dudes that are like our age are making like jokes and stuff, but it's obviously for like 12-year-olds and under.
Well, it's also that.
And they think that they're funny to like their own age.
Well, the other thing is that they do that, and they also do humor that's aimed at like whatever the like weird politically correctness is. Like, tell me you've heard this 1,000 times already. I know it. Tell me how many times you've heard a white straight guy get up on stage, or really just any straight dude get up on stage and be like, "Huh, I kind of think it's nice when like a gay guy flirts with me. Like I feel so good about myself. Ha 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 ha. I like gay guys. Don't hate me."
Yeah, it's like
shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
That same guy, a week ago, some gay guy in a bar was like, "Oh, you're kind of cute," and then he called him a F and then left the bar and threw a bottle at his head.
Yeah.
That's probably what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that there's definitely just this weird, I don't know, there's this weird stigma about wanting to be politically correct almost to the point where it's just not funny. You make jokes out of desperation to be politically accepted.
Yeah, and I mean, nothing's like, I mean, we've talked about this ad nauseum, but like, it just takes so much to impress us.
Yeah.
And, but that's the other thing. I'm not the only one that I've heard being like, no one's funny right now. Like, nothing is funny.
Yeah.
It's because everybody's just regurgitating the same thing
Yeah.
over and over and over. I'm like,
For real.
could one of you, for the love of God,
Just be original. That's why, to
original.
me, Theo Vaughn is so original. His
Yeah.
delivery's different.
Yeah.
His mannerisms are different. His subject matter's different. The way he responds to things, you're like, I've never heard anyone say that.
literally never. It's,
He's
it's
like,
insane.
dude, have you heard the bit where he talks about, man, me and my boys used to pass around pictures of vagina. We had to go to this guy named Billy.
Oh, yeah, and he would draw it?
We would pay. You pay him $6. He give you a handwritten drawing. He's like, you would pay for drawings of vagina. He's like, oh yeah,
He goes, they were
He'd make
good.
$60 on a Friday.
Yeah.
It's
That's
like,
insane.
what?
Also, I feel like where you grow up and what you live through matters so much if you're going to be funny enough to have good stories.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
like I'm sorry, if you grew up in, I don't know, like,
If you grew up in the suburbs, in just
yeah.
a casual place where nothing crazy on any spectrum is happening, whether it's you're really rich or whether you're really poor,
Yeah.
if you're not on the extremes,
yeah,
it's not going to be funny.
yeah, it's just
It's just not.
Like when like Theo Vaughn has that thing where he was like, I knew some rich families growing up. He goes, I knew some motherfuckers with sweaters. He goes, but we were 2 tank tops in the winter, baby. And I was like, that alone could be on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
That could be on a
Yeah.
2 tank tops in the winter.
Yeah.
That, and it would say Theo Vaughn on the front. It
Yeah.
would sell it out immediately.
No, for real.
Like just the shit he says is so,
Original.
yeah, it's just so like boop boop. Like he just spits
Yeah.
it out, and you're like, where are you getting this?
Yeah.
Like his most famous bit is the thing where he does. He goes, yeah, man. He goes, my cousin got bit by a gay guy, so I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
He used to end shows like that all the time, and people would be like waiting for him to say it, and then they would be like, yeah, and, like freak out and scream.
What in the world?
That's insane.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't even mean anything.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I am kind of sick of like just. I mean that just happens. I think it happens with, and I think it's just because of social media. Social media has just done so much to our society and the way we view things. It's just because they see something that works and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna get attention. I'm gonna get views." And now social media is so big, I'm gonna get money potentially if I
Yeah.
copy this person.
But the other thing is that it's not just funny stuff. Like it's not just comedians. There's a Netflix movie that just came out the other day. It's got Josh Duhamel in it, who I have this argument with my mother constantly. Josh Duhamel, do you know who that is?
I actually don't.
Just Google him. He's
Josh Duhamel.
okay. Here's my problem with here's another problem I have with you people. There are so many actors that women, guys, whoever will freak the fuck out over and be like, "Oh my god, they're so attractive, they're so hot." Like my mom will die on her grave being like, "Josh Duhamel is hot," and I'm like, "No, he's not. He doesn't have a job." Like, what do you people not understand? That these people have millions of dollars to spend on skincare,
Yeah.
food, like they just have all that, and also
He's not that attractive.
he's just a regular white guy.
Yeah.
If he was working at Buc-ee's chopping up fucking brisket, you would never look twice at him.
No one would look at him.
Because he would probably have like a weird patchy beard because he hasn't been perfectly manicured.
Yeah, go look up Ronaldo before
Yeah,
he got
exactly.
money. He looks like a homeless person.
Yeah, there are so few people that like I look at and I'm like, they're attractive. Like you look at them and you're like, that's a good looking person. Like a very classic one would be like Angelina Jolie. Like if you saw Angelina Jolie at Publix, you would be like, what?
Yeah.
Like you'd be like, what are you doing here?
She also has just like a very like they casted her very well in the Eternals movie. Just
Yeah.
very just honestly just such a bold look. You would
Yeah.
see her in public and be like, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah, exactly.
You'd be like,
those are the kind of people that I see and I'm like,
Yeah.
you're hot. Like that's a
Yeah.
hot person.
Um,
But they just came out with this movie that he's in on Netflix. Literally, the description is like a rogue FBI agent by the highest level of security wakes up with no memory and has to be guided to uncover a secret plot within the government. And I'm like, oh, Oh, I'm sorry. Are you talking about Jason Bourne?
That's literally about to
Brayden,
say.
I made it halfway through the movie. There's literally a scene where like he wakes up and he's like, and it does like a black and white like flashback. And I was like, are y'all using the same editing? Like it looks like the same thing.
Do you think that we're just running? We're just out of ideas?
I don't know if it's that, or I don't know if they see something and they're like, wait, when did Jason Bourne come? Like when did the first Jason Bourne come out? Like 2008, maybe 2007.
I think before that.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think probably like 2000 or 2002.
I genuinely think something happens in Hollywood where a movie hits like a decade mark
Oh, I see what you're saying.
of like, oh, it's been out now for this long. People have probably forgotten about it. Let's just make another.
Yeah, the first one came out in 2002.
2002.
Mhm.
That's crazy. But yeah, like there's just there's no. That's why I watch the same like
And that is
eight
that is
movies
exactly
over and over
20
again.
years.
That's exactly 20 years.
Hmm.
Exactly 20 years on the dot. And then they were like, well,
Well,
let's do
wait
another.
a minute. That means that there's 20-year-olds or like 18-year-olds that were born after the Jason Bourne and probably never grew up with
Dude,
it.
Luke, my little brother, is 17. Yeah, he's 17. He knows the expression, oh my God, that's Jason Bourne. Like, he'll
Yeah,
say it
yeah.
jokingly. I was flicking through movies the other night when they were over here. We were looking for something to watch, and all the Bourne movies are on Amazon. And he was like, those look so good. And I was like, yeah, dude. I was like, they're probably one of the best series. I was like, the one with Jeremy Renner is like weird for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why they threw him in there in that one.
Because also he doesn't take his place. He's another
Yeah,
agent.
he's not. It's so weird. Anyway,
Yeah.
but we were looking at him, and I was like, have you never seen these? And he was like, no. He was like, I've never seen them. I was like, well, then how do you know that thing? Because we do that all the time.
Yeah, it's just a
he was
meme.
like, just memes.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
like he doesn't know. He has no idea. So
Yeah.
he would watch that movie that just came out on Netflix and be like, oh, that's so cool, not knowing that in 2002 they did it.
You might be right. They might just like know that.
Yeah, they
And just
probably
make-
do.
That's just wild. I don't know.
That's why I watch the same like 8 movies over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, because every time, like that movie Wanted that I'm watching right now, it has like old school James McAvoy. Actually, Angelina Jolie's in that movie.
Yeah.
But like, it's like this group of assassins called the Fraternity, and they if you were born with this like ability, you can slow down time around you. But he thinks that it's a very like Percy Jackson situation. Like, he takes medicine for it because he was told his whole life it was ADHD. And so it suppresses it, and then he forgets to take his medicine one day, and like literally time will go like and like slow down.
Interesting.
It's the movie where they can like they sling their shoulder with a bullet, and the bullet curves.
I don't think I've seen this.
Dude, it's such a good movie. But like that's an original. That was
It's like an original idea.
yeah, and also that movie came out in like 2009 or something, and the CGI is amazing.
But I think what I was saying is like, at what point, I think like that can't be done again. You see what I'm saying?
That's too specific, I feel like.
I mean, anything with slowing down time, you have a problem with slowing down time. It's just like, again, if somebody makes something, they're gonna have to make it different from that. But then after that, you can't. It's like it just gets narrow and narrower. I think is what I'm saying, because everything's been done. So I think to me, the next like advancement in like entertainment will be the change of format. Like, it won't be us watching it on a screen anymore. I can't visualize what that'll be, but to me, that'll be the next thing. And then you can repeat like common tropes.
Are you saying like goggle type stuff, like VR?
I don't even know. Maybe even like it's because I mean we started with books, and then the next big form of entertainment and progress was probably TV shows and movies and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know what the next thing would be, but I'm just saying like we're gonna get to a point where everything's just burnt out.
We're getting to the point where what we really need is a good civilization reset. And if it could happen here in the next couple hours,
Hey, Russia sounds like they're trying to. Dude, hold on. I don't know if I've talked to you about this. Did you know that I don't know if you knew this. Let me see if I can look it up. Russia has a submarine, and it is called it's called Armageddon.
Ah. Harkening back to the last episode of Elon Musk naming the robot Optimus, like, what's that for? What's that for, bud?
What's that for? So, yeah.
Can you imagine talking to Putin and being like, "What? I like that. I like that big." I always picture it being Trump for some reason. Like anytime I like have a political leader like speaking to someone, it's always Trump because I know he would have said the most outlandish shit ever. And he was like, "Putin, I really like that boat over there. It's a nice boat. It's a huge boat. We really like it. What's it called? It is called Armageddon." Putin, I like that name. I think it's great. What are you going to use it for? Do not worry about that.
So it has nuclear missiles on it.
Yeah. How many?
So just to kind of reiterate that, it has nuclear missiles on it.
Yeah.
Okay, now just hold on. Think about that for a minute.
Mhm.
How did we use nuclear missiles on Japan?
Plane.
Okay. We dropped them on land.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Turn that country into a hot pocket.
No, now think through it. How does a submarine use a nuclear bomb?
Underwater.
What's that going to do?
Sink us into the ocean.
It's so much more scarier than that. They're designed to hit a certain distance from the coastline and cause tsunamis.
Yeah. You know that thing we've been doing?
So literally, we might wake up one day and it goes, tsunami has hit New York City. New York City is now completely flat. Like that's literally what it's designed to do. It's just to create a monster tsunami.
You know what the really good thing about living in Alabama is that he might forget to send the one that nukes us. Like they're in Russia right now, and they're like, "Where do we hit?" And he's like, "Hit the California, hit the New York, and then
maybe Florida,
fuck Portland, and then and then it's like, what about these three right here? What are they called? Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi. I don't know what those are. They look at like the general IQ for our area, and they're like, "Eat these four, just leave them."
I've always thought
and that is how history resets, and then us three states, become the Native Americans, so that when somebody else explores over here, they kill us all.
Yes.
Yeah, literally.
Exactly.
Woo!
God.
It's just, it's a bunch.
I love this
What
world.
if history repeats itself, and Columbus wrote down the Native Americans as like these like big people with bows and arrows? Really, it was just your uncle with a shotgun. You fucking Spaniard. Also, the funniest thing, do you know that when we go into a Mexican restaurant, my grandfather refers to Hispanic people as Spaniards?
Oh, no.
And I'm like, wrong one.
No.
Like, wrong one, Pops. That's not it. That's not it, man.
That's awful. Well, anyways, I just thought that was funny about, like, we're talking about, I guess, being nuked, but a lot of crazy things have happened recently about that. There's one thing I want to talk about. I didn't know whether to do this on like this kind of podcast or like an aliens podcast, but the Euphrates River has dried up, or is almost dried up.
Oh, yeah. That's 2 podcasts in a row you've done that.
Well, I'm just trying to adjust it. Yeah, so it's almost dried up.
So,
and that's like it's
what
in
does that mean?
It's in the Bible that like when that dries up, you're near like Revelation and stuff. But that's not the problem. So it's starting to dry up, and in certain sections of the river in Israel, or
people are crossing.
no,
Oh,
they're finding underwater caves, man-made.
so
Yeah, I don't even know what that means. The people that are finding it don't know what it means.
it's almost like there's something down there they don't want us to know about.
Jake, they're man-made caves that have been underwater for like thousands of years, and they don't know. First of all, they don't know how it's still there. They are so impressed by the construction of it because rivers are amazing at erasing things.
Yeah, the Grand Canyon is a
Yeah,
That's
but
what it
just
is.
making it smooth, just like if you dump something in the river, it's going to be deteriorated in like a year.
yeah.
Like they're just known for deteriorating things, destroying things, and making things be erased. That's why when like big resets in our world, it talks about like floods.
Yeah.
It's still there.
So in Revelation, it says what about the?
It doesn't say anything about those caves. That's what
Okay.
that's why people are freaked out because they're like, we didn't know these were here.
Oh, the Bible says like that the river drying up is bad.
Yeah,
Like that.
But then that's what's also weird is they were like, does this mean like they're thinking about those caves now as like other parts of Revelation where it's like an angel will come forth or like the four horsemen will come forth. Is that where they are?
What if it's just like an underwater box that like? Okay, picture this. You're an archaeologist.
Oh, no.
You find this big box, and you're like, "That's weird. It's waterproof." And they open it up, and it's just a line of books, big, thick leather books, right? And it's and every one of them, like they start wiping it off, and it just says "Holy Bible," and they're like, "Oh my God, there's so many copies of the Holy Bible here." And then they wipe it off a little bit further, and it says like Volume 2, 3, 4.
And then the people that are
We've
finding
only got.
there's a religious person with them, and he just pulls out a gun and shoots all of them. He's like, no, this can't happen.
The Pope is like, yeah. The first chapter of the second book is, by the way, gay people are the best.
No, the third book is dedicated just to homosexuality. It's just a celebration of
Chapter 1, Elton John. It's like all the things that we were never supposed to like. They got the first copy of the Bible and they're like, this is good.
This is good.
This is fine. We will just use this.
Yes.
Book 2 is about black people. Book 3 is about homosexuality.
Bury all that other stuff.
Book 4 on the front. Book 4 on the front. All it says is abortions at 8 months.
That's good. Let me see if I can find the pictures of the caves. They're pretty freaking weird looking.
That's hilarious. But I mean, that is like, I don't know. Doesn't the? I'm not like a biblical scholar or anything. I love what this. That's what this podcast is turning into. But like, doesn't the Book of Revelation has like a whole bunch of like euphemisms in it, right?
Yeah.
Like it says things that's like those are caves.
That's what I was trying to say. They're like so obviously man-made.
Like those are caves.
Yeah. Like and
Whoa.
they're exploring them right now.
God, this is such an Indiana Jones movie.
There's another like picture of some other ones. It's just like the lower the water gets, like they're finding these caves along the river, and they're just so confused.
Okay, so it might just be because I've watched Friends like 1,000 times through. In my mind, archaeologists just sit in a tent wearing a lot of beige, and they try every day to not kill themselves, right? Do you think when the water level went down and those little holes started appearing and they could see them, were they just like, oh yeah?
Because like they're tired of like excavating like the pyramids, like doing classical stuff, and like this is the first new breakthrough they've had in like years. So they just start wetting their pants.
Yeah, they were like, "Are those caves?" Literally pulls out a gun and is like, "Don't fucking talk." But I mean, also like, what are like? I mean,
they don't know right now. Literally, right now they're still searching and like trying to understand what they are, and
they'll never tell us. Like the government,
no.
the government will be like, in a couple months, we'll be like, "Hey, whatever happened to those caves?" And the government's gonna go, "What do you mean by cave?"
They're confused because it's so long ago that they're having trouble dating when they would be able to access those caves or make them, and then why why they would make them, because they also are so weird. Like they're like you normal people would just make one entrance.
Yeah.
For some reason they're like windows. Like there's like 4 of them and you go in all of them and it's the same room. It's just really weird.
Just because I've read so many books and just watched so many movies, immediately in my mind what I'm thinking is that there's some sort of deity trapped down there. And there's a bunch of dumb idiots in beige hats right now. And they're just like...
They're just poking stuff.
They're just poking stuff. And there's like a big stone tomb.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, let's take the lid off of this.
Let's roll this aside.
We're going to wake up tomorrow and the sky's going to be purple. And we're just going to go...
There's just demons everywhere.
Yeah. They're just walking around. That's immediately where my mind goes.
Oh, no, for sure. I think that's what a lot of people started thinking, was they were comparing that with the Book of Revelation.
Also, like Alien. If we find out that the aliens have been here at the bottom of the Euphrates River in a cave, I'm going to be really disappointed.
Yeah, they need to do something way better.
Yeah, that would be kind of weird.
Yeah, that'd be a weird way to find out.
I don't know about that. You said something weird the other day. You said that you've never watched the Indiana Jones movies, or you've seen like one of them.
I've seen one of them, but it was one of the later ones because I saw it in theaters.
Yeah,
the one with the crystal skull.
Oh, that's the worst one.
Yeah, that's
by
what
like
I've heard.
A long shot.
That's what I've heard.
Oof. Yeah, that's a tough one to go see. I don't know. I just have this like weird thing where I consistently want to make you like a list of movies that you need to go watch.
Oh, for sure.
Because like there's so many classics, but also this is going to be a really hot button topic.
Oh no.
What do you think is the most overrated franchise?
Ooh. Oh God, this is gonna be so horrible.
Here's the thing.
What?
I have an answer, and I don't want to say it out loud.
Oh no. I probably won't be mad because if it's what I think it is, I don't disagree. What are you gonna say?
Okay, it's.
What you got?
God, I don't want to say it so bad.
I haven't seen any of them.
Oh.
So I can't really I can't say what the most is because I've seen a couple of the Lord of the Rings, but it was a long time ago. I don't remember it. I haven't seen Harry Potter all the way through. I've seen like the first and the last 2.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. I've seen all the Star Wars movies. I've seen all of them. The originals I watched a long time ago, like 4, 5, and 6.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really remember those very well. I need to watch them again. I remember 4 really well. The most overrated? I think Star Wars is definitely not overrated. I think... if you say Star Wars, this podcast is going to shit. What are you gonna fucking say?
I think it's Star Wars. I'm so sorry. Listen to me. Listen. Okay.
What?
If you no. Listen. By far, I think we can all agree with this. Other than a couple characters, some of the shittiest acting we've ever seen in movies is Star Wars. Also, the entire storyline is based around Luke, the character Luke Skywalker, and he's supposed to be like this big hero. Mm-hmm. I have never watched those movies and been like, "Oh, look, it's Luke the hero." He just seems like just like a character. Like he's just there. Like Luke Skywalker does not give the energy that Harry Potter gives.
I see what you're saying, but I think that's the draw to Star Wars. The way that I just think that that's the way Star Wars is. It's so different. It's so weirdly shot, weirdly scripted. And it fits with the otherworldly type.
Yeah. It fits with the otherworldly type thing. It also fits with the era that it came out in.
Yes.
Very well.
And also just like random like bar cantinas that they just throw in there and don't explain. I love that. I love when there's a world and there's like an atmosphere where you just like they're just like, oh yeah, I'm fixing the carburetor, Kid Tucker, on my nanobot. Like it, like you know what I'm saying? Like they don't explain anything. They just you're immersed in this world that you just have to figure out.
For me, it was in between Lord of the Rings and Star Wars.
I haven't seen Lord of the Rings.
Dude, those movies are just, they're so fucking good.
Really?
Like, they just.
But you were saying the most overrated.
That's the thing, is that there's not as much of a hype behind Lord of the Rings as there is with Star Wars. Star Wars has so much hype, and I just feel like it's not deserved. I'm not saying they're bad, but I think they are the most overrated.
But here's the thing. Franchises like DC and the MCU, those came from comics. Star Wars didn't have anything. It was just boom. And it just blew people's minds when it came out. And also, you got to remember, do you know when the first one came out?
Like 1985 or something like that?
Something
Like
stupid
ago.
like that. I think it's like, yeah, like early 80s.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's
and
insane.
the stuff that they were doing was like toys.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think for the time, and also the sequel to me, not the sequels, the prequels, 1, 2, and 3. I thought those were good too.
I see, but that's the thing. Everybody hates those, which I find weird.
People are finding out. Our age people love them,
yeah.
and people have started to accept that those were good, especially the third one. The third one
is the third one is the best one by a long shot.
Yeah,
far and away the best one.
yeah, and a lot of people argue that that's their favorite out of all of them.
Yeah.
And then also some of the ones that are recently come out, like Rogue One.
Rogue One was good. See, that's the other thing, dude. The last 3 movies that they made that were like
dog.
Yeah,
shit.
That's the thing. I have to count those along with it because that is technically part of the franchise.
People don't though. I don't think you understand that the people that like Star Wars don't even count that. Even the actors in the show. I just saw an interview.
If we just judge 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I'll say that Star Trek is the most overrated. Because Star Trek, genuinely, when I watch those, I'm like, this is odd. Like, this doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I don't really find Star Trek even that entertaining either.
The new ones are cool, dude. The new ones are badass, actually. The one with what's his name? Benedict Cumberbatch. He's in it. And what's the dude's name? The white guy, Chris Pine. The ones that Chris Pine is in, those are pretty good. But yeah, if we're just judging Star Wars off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then I would probably redact that statement. But
okay. Actually, there is one series that I would say that is a little overrated. I think the Divergent series is a little overrated. The movie series.
I'm being honest, I don't remember the movies super well. I read the books. Like, I can read the books end on end.
I just remember that being hyped. I think it was so the series I'm about to say was so iconic because it was just some moments. The Twilight series.
Yeah. Masterpieces.
Yeah.
They're just perfect all the way through.
They are, but they're not like insanely like they're very awkward and like the acting's not even.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Yeah, but okay, so they're like terrible masterpieces.
Yeah.
And I think they're overrated in that sense. In the sense that it's like they're not like per se good movies.
I guess there's just so many times throughout the day where a Twilight quote pops into my head.
Yes.
And I'm just like, it's such garbage.
No, yeah.
Because also, you can't just have the quote. You have to remember how it was said in the movie.
Yes.
Which makes it
and also,
such garbage.
Bella's reactions to everything, she's like... she's like constantly having an aneurysm. She's like allergic to peanuts, and they're constantly making her eat a peanut before her scene. And she's just like,
that face that you did was so perfect.
She's like just constantly dying.
She she's constantly dying, and Robert Pattinson is constantly.
He looks at everybody in the show, not just Bella, like he's about to eat them.
At every point in the movie, he looks like he
Which
has to,
I guess that's good.
No. At every point in the movie, he looks like he has to take a shit so bad. Like, it's like the director was like, "Hey, Rob, what did you not do this morning?" And he was like, "Take a shit." And he was like, "That's right.
That's
take
right.
a shit.
Take 3. Let's go.
Let's go, bitch." Dude, they're so bad, but there's so many. Like, I did it at work the other day. I like climbed up. We're in the warehouse, and I like climbed up like the rung of this ladder, and like I was like all the way at the top, just being like a moron. And Steven was like, "Jake," he was like, "What are you doing?" And immediately, in the like Bella's voice came into my head, and I went, "I just wanted to feel a rush like that." and he went, "Was that a Twilight quote?" And I was like, "Yeah." Because people know when you do the face.
Why does she also just like?
Yeah, she's always like
Yeah.
she's so. You're right. They did whatever they did before every day on set before they came in. They were like, "Hey, Bella, are you still allergic to apples?"
Yeah.
And she was like, "Yes, I'm still allergic to apples." Then somebody went and spat it in her face. So that anytime on set, she was always like.
They just had a Bella bottle that was just applesauce. They sprayed at her.
The director's behind the camera with a tranquilizer, dipping it in apple juice, and go.
I'm not kidding. In the lunchroom when she first sees what's his face, when she first sees God, what's his name?
Edward.
Yeah, she's looking behind her like this. She's like. It looks like she's high.
And he's so stiff too, especially
Yeah.
in the first movie. He's so like he's so like rigid, and you're just like, what's going on? And then the belle of the ball that ties the whole series together is Taylor Lautner. The first movie with his hair down to his abs, just bouncing through the fucking floor. There's that scene where all of her like his cousins are like diving off of a cliff or whatever, and she's like, "Why do they keep looking at you?" And he's like, "I don't know, but it's starting to freak me out." I'm like, "Ugh."
And also, there's like such random people in that show that like make it so interesting. Like the little like fairy girl that has the short bobbed hair.
Oh, Alice.
It's such
She's
a character.
So hot.
She's just such a weird character that just pops in and just like acts. All of them are like having like these strokes, and she pops in and she's like da 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 da, and they're just like what? And they're like da 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 da.
And then there's the one vampire that's like a jock.
Yeah,
Emmett.
Yeah. And then there's the other one that's a new vampire.
Oh, Jasper.
That can't like control himself, so he's constantly just like. he's like a heroin addict trying to function at
every point. Anytime he's on screen, he's like, and it's so funny because everybody around him is like, Jasper,
what did we talk about? You can't suit up right now.
And he's like, it's nice to meet you, bro. He's just foaming in the mouth. And then literally the one guy, Emmett, is literally like, you want to play ball, bro?
He's like just a jock.
He's like he wears like Adidas tracksuits.
And then there's the Latino. Is she Latino? It's the girl that like has an attitude towards everything, and she's like one of the sisters or something.
Oh,
is it Sabrina?
Rosaline. I don't think is she Hispanic. I think she changed actors, and one of them was Hispanic.
Okay. But dude, she has like attitude towards everything.
Yeah, it's that, and then the perfect culmination of like the dad that's a doctor,
and he's like so soft spoken. And
yeah,
just
like everything that happens, he's like, he's always just like, Bella, I think we should.
Yeah.
He's always just like speaking so weirdly,
Yeah.
And then Bella's dad, it's just fucking. He's always just like.
I
He's
love
like-
you, Bella. And she's like, fuck you, Dad.
She's
That's
literally
the only interaction you
She's
get.
hanging out with all these people that are gonna kill her, and he's like, "I love my girl," and she's like, "Fuck you."
Give me your truck. I'm leaving.
Yeah, she's like, "Where's the truck?"
The books do better at like showing more depth to that relationship.
Yeah,
But the
yeah.
movies literally only show, hey, Bella, here's a truck.
Fuck you.
I don't want anything to do with you, Father. Get away from me. Knock, knock, knock. Dad! Leave me alone.
I love my little girl. Hey, go fuck yourself. And he's like such a good, like he's just like a dad. He's always either cleaning his shotgun,
Yes.
drinking beer,
Yes.
or driving a cop car.
Yes.
And so like,
Yeah.
I love my little girl. Fuck you. I want to go hang out with the vampires. They're so bad, but they're so good.
It's so, and I think it's because it's based off a book. They have like so much depth to go off of, but it's
Yeah.
just like every character is so weird and unique, and it's just I think it's overrated in the sense that it shouldn't be that good,
No, it shouldn't be that good at all.
and it is. But as far as other overrated series, I'd probably say Star Trek. I can't think of another movie series I would say is overrated. I think Hunger Games is aptly
I think
rated.
Hunger Games is cool.
Yeah.
It was super. Dude, do you remember?
Yes. The time period when that was
Dude.
out.
It was prime time. How old were we? Like, were we like 13, 14-ish? Like
I think a
12,
little bit older.
A little bit older?
I think a little bit older.
Dude, it was so weird watching girls like
Lose their minds.
lose the minds. like PETA t-shirts.
Oh yeah.
Everywhere.
Liam t-shirts.
Liam Hemsworth everywhere.
Everywhere.
Every single time. Dude, there was a good span of like 4 years of my life where the only men that I saw
We're PETA.
were PETA, Liam, Jacob, and Edward. Those were the
Yeah.
only 4 men that I was like, I know those actors.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, I know exactly who they are.
I'm trying to think of who. It was also the guy from Divergent.
Tobias.
Yeah.
That's his character's name. What's his real name?
I don't know. That guy I remember seeing a lot too.
Theo James.
I remember seeing a lot of him. That was like, and people have talked about this. That was like a thing for a while. This like romantic, like apocalyptic series that was just popular.
Yeah.
Hunger
Yeah.
Games, Maze Runner, and Divergent.
Dude, Maze Runner's fire.
Maze Runner was
Maze
fire.
Runner's pretty good. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie. What is this is a weird out of those 5 guys, the Divergent guy, Jacob, Edward,
Okay.
PETA.
Okay.
What was Liam Hemsworth's character's name in the Hunger Games? I don't even remember.
Is it? For some reason, the first thing that came into my mind was Gale. Is it
It
Gale?
might be Gale.
Hold on. Let me just fact check. Hunger Games.
Out of those 5 dudes, who's the most attractive?
Yeah, it's Gale Hawthorne. How did I know that?
I don't know.
have a
That's
terrible
weird.
memory.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna tell you right now. Overrated series, but the Divergent guy is pretty hot. It's a pretty good. Looking
yeah,
guy.
that's a pretty good looking dude.
He's got those like weird ears, like his ears kind of stick out, and so you're like, he's like fucked up, but he's cute. Also, I'm gonna say this. You know who looks better now is Taylor Lautner, Jacob from Twilight.
Yeah,
He's got like some like gray in his hair now. He's aged really well.
I don't think I could ever say Robert Pattinson. He's just such a weird look, man. It's just,
he was. I have no problem admitting that guys are attractive, like at all. He is always one of the ones that I was like, I don't get it. Like I just don't.
Yeah. I understand that he dude, to hang with me here, to like a Switzerland model that models for like up and coming clothing brands that are like futuristic.
Yeah.
I could see him being attractive to her. Like it's just some weird.
But I could also see him doing that. Like if you put him on a fashion show and like
Yes.
wrapped him
No,
in a,
yes.
like if you
That's what I'm saying.
if you wrapped him in electrical tape
Yes.
and then like put a weird pair of visor sunglasses on him and made his hair spiky in like two different directions and he was like
And bleached it white.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That I would be like, I see that. There you go.
He fits there.
Yeah, he fits there.
That's what I'm saying. It's like he is attractive to that niche.
Yeah.
I think that the guy from Divergent is universally attractive.
He might win that. Because that's the other thing.
I don't know. Liam is pretty.
See, here's the problem though. Liam Hemsworth's a good looking guy, but I just know that his older brother is so much more attractive than he is.
That's true. Well, yeah, I think. But the thing is if a girls look at Liam and Chris, and one of the girls is like, "Oh, I don't like that much muscles," because I'm sorry, Chris is getting to the point where it's like,
He looks a little weird right now. I'm not gonna
dude,
lie.
he's gotten to the point where it's like, "Oh, I don't like bodybuilders." Like girls that like don't like those guys that are that big.
He definitely looks a little testy. He's definitely testy.
But he's just gotten that big to where like, I mean, his muscles are huge.
Yeah.
Like he could go on stage at like a natural bodybuilding competition.
Oh, like a physique competition?
Yeah.
He probably could. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Is like I think that's the level he's gotten to. So if you put them next to each other, some people are going to choose Liam.
This is interesting. I'm gonna send this to like 4 or 5 girls and be like, out of these 5, which one of you?
You know what's weird? We haven't mentioned him. I don't think anybody's picking PETA.
he just.
And also, when I pictured PETA in the Hunger Games, I did not picture him.
No, the way that he's described in the books, you would never look at Josh Hutcherson and be like, "Oh, PETA."
Yeah.
Like,
well, the way he was the way he was depicted in Hunger Games was a little bit better than how he walks around. If that makes any sense. Like the way he looked on screen in the Hunger Games was a little bit closer to what I thought of him, but I don't know. I just pictured him being more like.
Here's the other problem. I just don't like blonde people. Like anyone that's blonde, I'm just kind of like.
Okay.
I just don't like them.
Right.
I don't know what that is.
I think you were talking about you not liking blonde people, but for some reason you liked Margot Robbie in that new thing with her brown hair.
Yeah, that really fixes her for me.
Yeah.
Because she's like, obviously you can't not look at her and be like, oh yeah, she's hot. Like she's hot. That's fine. But what movie was I watching? I think it might have been Doctor Strange when that trailer came on for the movie that she's going to be in with dark hair. And Steve was sitting next to me. And she was like there's a scene where she's like walking down the hallway and she has the dark hair. And I literally went, like I just slapped his leg. And he was like, I know. And I was like, there you go. I was like, that's it.
I don't know.
I just don't like, I don't know what it is. Like the girl that, I also don't like when people have like white blonde hair.
That's what I don't like.
That freaks me out too. I don't like that either.
Like to me, I love people's blonde hair like my fiance. Marley's hair is like a dirty blonde.
Hers is barely blonde. Like it's
dirty blonde.
Yeah, I guess.
But I like when her hair's like that. I just don't like the platinum blonde. I don't like when it's like perfectly blonde to where it looks like almost dyed. I don't like any of that.
It makes me uncomfortable.
It does.
But yeah, I don't think anyone's picking PETA out of that lineup.
No.
Probably for me, the Divergent dude's probably the best looking.
Yeah.
Out of all.
Some people might pick Jacob.
Yeah, but also that's the type of girl that like if you like a guy who's a little bit darker complexion, you're gonna go with Jacob
for sure. And if you want like some kind of model runway, you're going with Robert.
Yeah, it really just makes you think about like how everyone has just such weird taste.
Yeah, for sure.
Like there's somebody out there right now
that
who
would
like,
go after PETA.
like you. Oh shit, PETA. So here's
yeah. Yeah, that's
I mean,
funny.
Dude, same with me though.
Yeah, no one would go after you. Unlock that.
Oh shoot, sorry. Yeah.
No, I see what you're saying. It's weird that like some people look at, I mean anybody and just think, oh my gosh, I would marry that person.
Yeah. I don't know. Everybody's taste is so odd. Speaking of which, what drug would you never do?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
I was talking about this with Elise the other day.
I
was
think
like,
anything that I injected.
Yeah, okay. I said heroin
Yeah.
immediately. Heroin scares me.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't think I'd ever do meth.
what is the downside to meth? What is meth? What's bad about meth?
I think it just makes you look like shit. I don't know. I've never looked into meth, so I don't know.
Yeah, I've never looked into meth either. Also, this sounds like a weird question. Where this podcast is odd. Where do you buy heroin? Like, do you like the guy who I buy?
Also,
How does it come?
the seller of heroin,
Yeah,
how does he sleep at night?
yeah. Let's talk about that guy.
How does he go to bed going, I just...
Because that's the thing. Like, you know who probably sleeps really good is the weed guy.
Yeah,
weed guy sleeps great.
He's selling joy.
The guy who sleeps a little bit worse, but not a lot, is the cocaine guy.
Yeah.
Because at least he's like, there's somebody out there right now ripping a statue out of the ground.
Yeah.
And I did that.
Yeah.
That's good.
That he's getting something done or he's having a good night.
Yeah. The heroin guy.
What?
You gave something to somebody, they're either dead or
Dead? They have a chronic addiction.
Yeah, or they're laying in under a bridge somewhere with a belt around their arm.
Yeah.
Like, so do we agree that weed is probably like the most respectable drug?
I would say the most respectable drug just because of its. I mean, it literally is. Government has like made it legal in some states.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I also think there are some pill dudes.
I wouldn't consider weed a drug.
No, it's really not. I was just thinking that. But I bet there are some pill dudes that. Here's the thing. Whenever I picture a pill guy, I might be crazy. But every time I picture a pill guy, he's always wearing a suit.
Always
wearing a suit.
because it's a
real cut suit too. Like a real real V-line suit.
Yeah.
And it's pinstriped. And he wears glasses, sunglasses.
Okay. Do you know somebody?
Wherever. He's going to be here in 5 minutes.
Is this why you asked me that?
Do you want to meet Jeff?
No, I think another one that I wouldn't. I don't want to get into. Okay, so I don't want to get into meth and heroin.
Yeah.
Because I think that just messes your life up. There's no upside. The other ones, I don't want to get into like codeine, any of the ones that are like prescriptions.
Oh,
because
yeah.
I think
I don't know about all that.
I think that's what pills are. What do you mean?
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by
I think that because that is like you become reliant on it.
Here's the thing. When I think of like the bad pill, there was a kid that I went to high school with. He was a really, really good guy. He made great grades. He was always like, he would always be like, "Hey, are you what?"
He's a really good guy. Now he's dead and addicted.
No. He's not dead. He's not dead.
Oh, he's just in.
No, he was a really good guy. He still is a really good guy. He's a great guy. He would always be like, "How we doing today, boys?" And he would like slap everybody on the back. Unfortunately, I hate that you know how I tell stories.
Yes.
Like you know my pattern of like how I say things. But unfortunately, he took horse tranquilizers, and that was just something that like always kind of fucked with him. And I believe he still takes horse tranquilizers because he's about 6'4", 6'3", tall. Tall guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he weighs like 88 pounds.
So he's just ribs and dick.
Yeah, ribs. Ribs. Dude, nothing but ribs and dick. That is all he exists as.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, drugs are scary.
Yeah, they are. I think that's literally why the only thing that I don't have a problem with is weed. The only other one, I don't know why that cocaine to us is not bad for some reason. It's not as bad as the other ones.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I just think it's because you don't like casually take cocaine. Like it has a purpose. I'm saying like you take it knowing what's about to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can't take that.
Sometimes you don't know what's gonna.
But I'm just saying, like, you take it and you're not like, oh, I'm going to take this. Nobody takes it and goes to sleep.
No, they don't.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you can abuse the other things because, like, you can do them and then try to do your daily life.
See, that's one of the other things that I never understood about heroin is that you do heroin and then you just pass the fuck out.
Yeah.
Where's the...
What are you doing?
Yeah. Like, I love to, like, smoke a lot of weed, drink, and then go drive a car. Like you... Here's the... Like, that's the
Thanks
thing.
for listening, y'all.
Imagine doing a drug where you're just like, and you wrench it down and you're like, that's a good one. And then you pop it, and then you're like,
Oh, that's great.
and then you just lean back.
Okay,
There's no fun.
literally the only ones I'm interested in doing in my entire life are weed, DMT,
Oh, yeah.
and ayahuasca. That's it.
Yeah.
Ayahuasca is like an event. but-
Yeah. I'll do some more coke, but like... No, I'm just kidding. I've never... Guys. I've never done coke.
He's never done coke.
I've never done coke.
No.
You know how I haven't done coke? Because there's no Jake-shaped holes in my walls right now.
Yeah.
Huh? On my finger? Oh, shit.
Yeah. So we're gonna wrap this podcast.
The episode of this episode has to be D.A.R.E, like the lion. It's just us advocating for drugs the entire time. We're like, I mean, I wouldn't shoot heroin, but I'll snort some coke.
I genuinely want to do DMT at some point.
I do too.
I've heard that because I also heard that it's only 15 minutes.
The only thing I'm scared of is they're like, don't some people say like you do DMT and you come out the other side, like you can be a different person?
Yeah, it does like
That's
change you.
scary.
That is weird.
That's kind of weird.
That is actually really weird.
Yeah.
What if I came out and I was just an asshole?
Dude, what if you came out and you were like 6'3"?
Where can we get some DMT?
Where can we get some DMT? Thanks for listening, guys. We appreciate y'all.
See ya.